Well, good morning, everyone. Beautiful. Good morning. Good morning. Okay. We have a full house here today. Thank you so much. This is Dr. Herbert Harris, and this is Success Mentorship class number 384. And it is coming on such an appropriate day. It is coming on Independence Day in the United States. And we have a guest speaker, Rodney Lovell, and I'll be introducing him in a moment. But his topic really struck me and it resonated with me completely because it is one that we go through each and every day. His topic is perseverance. So we're going to get into that shortly. Right now, though, I want to, number one, welcome those on Instagram and those on YouTube. And we have a profound mastermind group here for discussions. Thank you all for being here. This is the season two, beginning of the second half of the year. And right now, I think each and every one of us is very deliberate about what we think, about what we feel, about what we do, and about the people we permit to come into our lives. This idea of independence is a profound one because it says we have to be independent of negative thinking. We have to be independent of negative emotions. We have to be independent of bad habits. And we have to be independent of people who don't uplift us and keep us high in our regard. And so, of course, I invite you to visit our website, www.herbertharris.com. And we're still scheduling free success consultations. I'm taking a few coaching clients. We've gotten a couple in the last week, and I've been interviewing people, but go to our website, herbertharris.com, and of course, click on the book a call, and let's talk about it. It may be a fit. Maybe we can help, maybe not. But in any event, we'd love to hear from you. We also still have our book special. It seems that it just doesn't want to go away. And we call it The Perfect Gift, and it has morphed into summer reading now. And so, of course, that website is www.theperfectgift.me. Let me just introduce Rodney and tell you a little about him before we do our meditation. Rodney Lovell is a chaplain, minister, entrepreneur with over 25 years of experience in business. So you're in the right place at the right time because this is a gathering of eagle entrepreneurs. A husband of 18 years, a father and a grandfather, Rodney's life is a powerful testimony of faith, resilience, and restoration. Known as the bounce back coach. I love that, Rodney. The bounce back coach. He helps others grow through, operative word, grow through, rather than just go through life's disappointments, life's setbacks. With a heart for youth, he counsels and coaches the next generation to overcome setbacks and step into purpose. Rodney teaches that you can rise again, stronger than before, and that every setback holds a seed for your comeback. So, Rodney Lovell, we're going to hear from you right after our meditation. Let us prime our pump so we're ready for your message. So, everybody just sit straight up in your seats. Put your feet flat upon the floor. Let's close our outer eyes, open our inner eyes. Today, let's do palms down upon our knees, giving us toe grounding. Take a deep breath. Let it out slowly. Take a deep breath. Let it out slowly. And in this space of peace and relaxation, we give thanks for this opportunity to come together and be at peace with ourselves. I am at peace with myself. Let us affirm that. I am at peace with myself. Just let that peace sink in. Take a deep breath. Let it out slowly. And in this space of peace and relaxation, my mind is open, receptive, and ready to learn. Let us affirm that together. My mind is open, receptive, and ready to learn. Take a deep breath. Slowly. And so it is. All right. Let me bring up Rodney. Good morning, Rodney. How are you?
Good morning, Dr. Herbert. I'm fine. Bit nervous, but fine.
You must unmute yourself.
Hi, good morning, Dr. Harris. Good morning, everybody. First, it's a pleasure to be on your platform.
All right. Can everybody hear Rodney? Let's just
Yes.
put in the chat that you can hear him. Okay. Can everybody hear Rodney?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. All right, Rodney, carry on.
Right. As I was saying, good morning, Dr. Harris. Good morning, everybody. Good morning to the Mastermind group. It is an honor and privilege to be here among such esteemed persons like Dr. Harris and everybody else. So yes, my topic today, like Dr. Harris said, all things being established already, we just go and jump right in. And today I'm going to basically spend a few minutes on three areas which deals with setback and disappointments as an individuals, whether it be a family, business, in any area of life. And one of the first things we gotta do is acknowledge the feeling and the emotion with it. Then we gotta separate that from our identity, and then we gotta extract the lessons from that disappointment and make the adjust to make the plan. And I share a short story with you about a young man I know who has been disappointed. He grew up very simple, started with business and got disappointment after disappointment, whether it be in business, whether it's in sports, whether in anything relationship, but he persevered. And because of that perseverance, along that path, along the past couple of years, what he did, he built friendships. He was able to impact and be an inspiration to others. And because of that, the inspiration of others has caused other people to become entrepreneurs. It caused them to see his way how he stood fast, had the foundation. You know what? This is what I was born to do. So I'm going to continue to be entrepreneur. I'm going to continue to do business. And by doing that, it inspired the next generation of believers, of young men, women to set their own businesses. And some of those businesses are very big businesses today. But the takeaway from that is, although that young man was disappointed in his own business, he never stopped. He persevered. With the emotion in it of, no, I'm starting my business, is like, okay, I can do this. This is what I'm called to do. Let me do this. But he got disappointed. He got setbacks with cleaning, setback with staff, setback with personnel, setback with finances. But he persevered. And in his perseverance instill a group of people to persevere also in what they're doing. So see, we can understand that although we might have a setback or what we call a setback, and the first time we get a setback is our emotional state control. Our emotion, our feelings like, oh, I can't do it. The first thing we do is we feel frustrated, we feel sad, we get vexed. Even in relationships, we get set in a relationship, first thing we get angry, so I don't want to anymore. We get vexed, we get upset. But what? That's just the first part of the setback, the emotional part, the feeling. And we as human beings, we tend to rely more on feeling first than anything else. And in that feeling, that hurt sometimes is what keep us in that setback and in that disappointment. So what I'm saying is deal with the emotion, work through the emotion, work through the feeling. Understand it's just a feeling. It will pass. It's like if you take a tree, a seed, and put it in the ground, if you put it in the rocks, if you put it in soil, or you put it in a container, the seed can only grow, that tree can only grow to what it's supposed to be based on the soil. And sometimes the disappointment that we get in that disappointment, that disappointment needs that seed, that needs that idea you have, that thing, that whether it be an idea, a vision, a business, a relationship, something need that disappointment. That seed need to draw the nutrients from that disappointment to grow. Because then what happens, it's able to establish roots. And those roots are able to grow down in the ground and get and be solid. That when that same disappointment come again, say, it can't penetrate because you know what? Your roots, your foundation is firm. So you gotta say to yourself, it hurts, but it's okay. I can grow. But it isn't my identity. That disappointment isn't my identity. That is not who I am. I was made for more. But I learned. I started to learn. I started to grow. I started to understand. So then we have to separate the disappointment from who you are. Because it might be a disappointment in one area, but that does not determine who you are. Too often we let a disappointment determine who we are. So then we go to this phase where our identity, who am I? What was I made for? Why was I placed on this earth? What is the purpose? What is my greater goal? What was I? Who am I? Who is Dr. Herbert Harris? Who is Don Lovell? Who's Rodney Lovell? Who's anyone? The first thing God do now is write after they say, and then challenge everybody to write down, who am I? What is my identity? Is my identity based on what I'm doing? Is my identity based on my purpose? Who am I? What is the reason why I was placed on this earth and this time? Why the vibrations of the earth pass me here right now? That is the one thing I ask yourself. Who am I? Because when you're able to answer that question, the thing that disappoints you then becomes the greatest asset that you have to share and to inspire and to let people grow. So we refrain, we experience, and we challenge because the verdict that came out for that disappointment isn't you. And then we go on. Now, life lesson. What life lesson have I learned in a disappointment? What life lesson have I learned in a disappointment, in any disappointment? Let's use that example. What life lesson have I learned in a relationship by choosing the wrong person? I got disappointed. That person then will not have become part of my identity. That person will not have been able to take me to the next level that it's supposed to be. And that's what happens. Sometimes we see a person or we see a situation and we latch onto it, but it doesn't take us to the next level. It doesn't help us to become who we are or who we're supposed to be. So there is always a lesson learned. Now, in learning that lesson, do you create a plan? And I ask every person to take 30 seconds. Look at the disappointment that you had in your life. See what lesson you learned from it. And see if you made a plan from it. If you adjust because of that disappointment, a plan. So let's take 30 seconds and do that. Reflect on the disappointment, how it affected you, and did you learn from it? And did you make a plan? And in making that plan, did you stick to that plan? Did you execute that plan to your fullest ability of because of that to make you the person you are? If that's the case, somebody just say, yes, I've been disappointed. I have been disappointed. And because of my disappointment caused me to restructure my entire life, come up with a new plan, a new way of doing things, a new way of understanding things. That's why it says, there's a scripture that says, the Lord himself goes before you and will be with you. He will never leave you. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged. And sometimes we allow the disappointment to create the fear in us. But the reality is, it's a part of life. How you feel. Disappointment is a part of life. We were disappointed when we were children. If we had a purpose, somebody said no. They were spank us on the hand, they said no. That's when disappointment first started. But as a child, and that is what did you do? You continue to ask until you broke down the wall. So when the major things we must understand is, although we got disappointed, and then we got to find out how do we continue to grow. So we had to say, anybody look at any area of their life? If you did, just say, yes, I look at that area, and we discuss that, how that area change you. Because that's what it does. A disappointment change you. And 90% of us let a disappointment, we let disappointment shape us and not grow us. So what do you do different? What do you different? How do you grow? How do you take that small thing, that seed that was in the disappointment soil? How then do you nurture that seed? How then do you help that seed to grow? How do you prune that? How do you take then with that thing? Do you know what? I've learned from it, okay? I made a bad investment, okay? I did not listen. Because majority of the time before the disappointment comes, surprise obviously you know, don't do that. There's always any voice that says that's a bad idea. But because of how we are made, our own self-will, we say, you know what? Let me just go on, let me just do it. And then we say, you know what? I should have done that. I should have listened. That's the emotion. That's the hurt part. So what do? We got a plan. Each of us got to write a plan on how we go forward. And how we go forward for the rest of the year has 6 months left. We have been disappointed first half. How do we go for the other half of 2025? How do we make that plan? How do we take the disappointment, the first half, the financial disappointments, whatever? How do we take that now and nurture that into a plan that the next half I will not be disappointed? I will grow. I will develop. It's simple. The Dr. Harris has a book, The 12 Laws of Universal Success. We take that book, we read it. Each of us have books, these are people we take, we learn, we educate ourselves about the area where we failed, and then we start to grow. Because you are never alone. You find like people that have been through and you say, no, what? When I've been through this disappointment, this is what helped me. And you take from it and you apply it to yourself. So, you know what? If I apply this one aspect, I can grow. I can develop. But the biggest thing is you yourself would have to want to change. You yourself will have to see your value. You know your value, know your worth. Because there's a plan for you. There's a way for you to go forward. There's a way where you stick to a plan and you achieve success. Nobody starts a journey without making that first step. And once you make that first step, identifying the problem, get the emotion out of it, and then we go and we separate it. Then we say, you know what? I can now build. Because we do not build a house with a roof first. We dig the foundation. Even before we dig the foundation, we spoke the land. We spoke the land of disappointment. We clear the land. We cut out, we mark it out. Then we dig. Then we cast the concrete and we build up. So in disappointment, it's a way for you to build up yourself. We learn from it, grow. And then what you learn and grow, you then pass on that some person else along the line would have made that mistakes. I'll tell you one story before you close. I know a young man that plays sports. He was very talented when he was young. 2 years ago, 3 years ago, he represented his country, played. He captained the side. They won and they win. 6 months later, they had to go back again. They lost. They got beaten badly. That young man came back disappointed. That young man came back, gee, he know what happened. But was it his fault? We are not sure. It was a team sport. What he did, he took the lesson he learned there on that second tour, went in and looked at the mistakes he made. He developed a work ethic where every day he would practice and practice and practice, go to his coaches, practice. He would start to exercise. He would start to do everything he needed to get himself. And in a year's time, when he called up again for the play again for his school, he started doing well. That young man on December 3rd played at innings of his life where he took his team to cross the lane to finish when all the odds were against them. That young man got cramped when he went in and faced his second ball after first when he went in, he faced his second ball. He took his disappointment from the previous year, all the emotion, and channeled it into success. That young man made 95 runs off of 30 somebody balls. Created that the first year his school ever won that competition because he took the disappointment and the setback, worked with it and channeled it, nourished the seed in there, take from them for the seed that he has his gift in. And what he did, he made it into a success. To where he now, from that day, he's been consistently batting and scoring runs. A couple of months ago, he said he's not going to make the under-19 Barbados side to travel. He said he don't believe so. The guys that want on him. But know what? He is there right now with the national side in a tournament because he continued. He understands that if he continue, if you look at that time in his life where he was disappointed, that's for you know what? I learned from that. I'm going to go forward. I'm going to get stronger. I'm going to improve and improve and improve. He separated it from his identity. And what he did, he conquered. So my encouragement for you today, guys, is no matter what, we had 3 steps where we acknowledge it, we felt the emotion, we know it hurts. We separate it from our identity because the disappointment isn't us. And we plan and we extract the lesson that we learned, adjust it to our plan to go to the next level. So that's it, Dr. Harris.
Wow. 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 Rodney. I can only say, man, I am just super moved. I took notes. Don't let disappointment define you. And I think that's one of the things that happens so often. We let a bad situation define us, and we go through life carrying that rock in our shoes and then complaining why my foot hurts. Oh my goodness. You shared some powerful stuff there, Rodney. I did. Let me tell you, you've been sleeping on us, man. See, I see why, Dawn, you all are like the super couple. You know, it's interesting. You know, when Dawn speaks, you say, man, somebody must give her some serious inspiration. I got it now. I got it, brother. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We're going to have the discussion in a minute. Let me wrap up the live broadcast because this was so rich. This was so rich. And some takeaways just for our audience on YouTube and Instagram that every disappointment is a lesson. I mean, that, and it's like the mindset to look at every disappointment is a lesson that makes you want to say, hey, how can I get better? What do I need to learn from this? But then you took it to another level, Rodney. You said it's not enough to get the lesson because a lot of us get the lesson but don't do anything. You got to have a plan now to do something. And so for our listeners out there, thank you so much. This is one of those video broadcasts that you're going to listen to time and time again. So thank you so much on Instagram for being with us. Thank you on YouTube for being with us. This is Dr. Herbert Harris. This has been Success Mentorship class number 384. And the topic was the perseverance. Woo! Perseverance. And you think about that. I love that. How to walk through disappointment and setback. How to walk through it and Rodney and still be standing. Thank you. Thank you. Hey, folks, be sure to visit our website, herbertharris.com. I'm still taking a couple more coaching clients. Go to our website, book a call. Let's talk. Maybe I can help. Maybe not. Maybe you need another coach. But I'd love to chat with you and get some clarification. And if we can find a way to work together, love to do it with you. This is Dr. Herbert Harris saying, you can be what you want to be. You can do what you want to do, and you can have anything you desire, always knowing that the best is yet to come. And so it is.